Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the show. Celi's here. Hello, my friend. How are
Hello.
you? I'm so happy for this moment. I was like really looking forward to this, and we scheduled this in like late 2025, and I'm so happy the moment is here.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I actually made a decision for this year that I'm only doing the visibility things that I really want to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, this is going to be so fun. I'm really looking forward to speaking with Amber. So
Yes.
it feels good to
Well,
be like, have something on my calendar that I'm like, ooh, that's a full body yes. I'm excited.
yeah. And to me, I'm like kind of unavailable for anything that's not that, you know?
Same.
I mean, like, granted, there are like I had a call with like my tax strategy people yesterday, and like that's never really full body yes for me in any way, shape, or form. But it is in having support. So, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like the
totally.
generative things we're gonna give our time to. It's gotta feel, yeah, it's got some like gravitas to it. So,
Yes.
thank
Yes,
you
totally.
for being that here today for us. So, I talked about in our intro um, about all the magical things that you've done and about how we know each other. But what I want to say here is I truly do believe you're one of the smartest people that I know.
Oh my
And
God, thank you.
I love how, I don't know, I found you somewhere like in the Instagram vortex. Maybe no, somebody connected us on
Somebody actually that we both know and love
Boxer,
was
right?
like, yes, you should know each other. That's how it happened.
Yes. And then I was like looking at your Instagram, falling in love. Then I came on your podcast. That
Yeah.
was a while ago. And,
Yeah.
and here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. Yeah.
Here we are.
What I love about your approach is that you are just really real, which is how we do things here. And you just sort of tell it like it is. And like I said to you before we hit record, like I love how direct you are with people, full well knowing. Like you're a little bit more of a hard ass than me, I think, in some ways. But also, like underneath that, the reason why I really love that is because there's such ferocious love for people and like a seeing of the potential that you're like willing to fight them for it.
Totally. Yeah. I think it's always funny when people think that I'm just a hard ass. It's funny how like my clients or people in my life who know me will come to my defense because they're
Yeah,
like, no, she's the biggest softie. Like, ask her for
totally.
anything. She'll say yes. She'll fall apart and say yes. So it's true. I am a hard ass, but it's always for your highest good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, especially now, I feel like time is speeding up and
Mm,
the state of humanity is speeding up. And I feel like I don't have enough time. I don't have time to bullshit you.
yes.
We don't have time for me to bullshit you or drag you along or coddle you or make you feel good.
Hmm.
I am for the person. It's like, you want this? You want this to work? You want to be an entrepreneur? You want to have that kind of freedom? You want your independence? Let's get there faster.
Mm,
I was talking
yeah.
to a client this morning, and we were talking a little bit before we got it really into it about having children in this era of AI and technology. And like, I have a very young child, you have young children, but she has older children. And we were talking about social media. And I was like, oh God, I'm not even ready to face that. And she was telling me what it's like to have teenagers in this phase, which when you and I have children, when our children are that age, it'll
Yeah.
look different.
Yeah.
Um, and I got this image in my head of, do you remember that movie Wall-E?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful movie, but like the humans in that movie are all like,
Yeah.
being driven around by these little like mini air,
Yeah.
I don't know what they are, like little air shuttles, right?
Yes. Yes.
And I had this image of like, oh my God, I don't know, that was like 15 years ago, that
It
movie.
was. Yes.
But
Yeah.
so I feel this urgency
Hmm.
to help people not become that,
Totally
if
agree.
you so choose.
Totally agree. I really feel the like the sort of battle between the light and the dark right now in such a visceral way.
Yeah.
Um, it's very, very real and tangible. And I think um, for those of us who are in the roles that you and I are in, where we support businesses, we support people who are building businesses, I feel like our ears really has to be close to the ground
Yeah.
to really feel the truth of that. And there's a real like rumble happening. And yet for some reason, this like part, and I'm curious for you, like my spirit feels very high and light about it all. Like I feel like a sense of, I feel, yeah, the moments of fear of like, ooh, this is intense, but this part of like good wins. And I, yeah, I don't think it's Pollyanna. I too overly idyllic. I just feel like that's the only way. And I'm seeing lots of things, I'm seeing this like trust building commitment that people are making, this like going more analog on things. My 12-year-old literally put her iPad in a drawer and said, I don't want to use that anymore. I just don't feel good when I'm on it.
That gives me so much hope.
So
Thank
I
you.
do think there's a world in which that's true. And
Yeah.
her main focus is like, I want to watch YouTube videos about how to make dragon puppets out of paper and sew my hobby horses. And that's what she spends her time on. That is like what she is obsessed with.
I
Morning, noon,
love
and night when
that.
she has free time, that is all she is doing right now. She's crafting her next hobby horse.
Oh my God, that really makes that really like brings joy to my heart.
And
So
I
thank
think it's
you.
like these new humans, like these kids, there's certain aspects and dimensions of them that have like gone through honestly like DNA mutations and up levels and upgrades that we can't necessarily perceive in the moment. But
Yeah.
it's our job to foster them
Yeah.
and their truest selves and be mindful, about the role of these things and like wake up from our own trance. And
Yes.
I do feel like it's happening in places. And I do feel like there's places where it's not at all. But I really, yeah,
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know. I feel like the people who feel that's part of their mission or their calling,
right.
um, we're more, I don't know, dialed up or dialed on and
Mm.
like called to help. So like, yeah, I agree. I mean, I get questioned, my husband questions at me all the time, like, why do I work so much? And why do I work so hard?
Right.
And
Because the reality is, you guys, and I just want to have Celi say this, like, there's a world in which you don't actually have to have a business and do the work that you do.
yeah, the world we live in, just for
Yeah.
full transparency and honesty, I do not need the money. I don't I could not. We all need money. It's an energy and it's a flow, and we all need money to live in this 3D world. So that's not accurate, but I don't need to work.
The income from your business, you do not need to run your life.
No,
Correct.
no.
So this is a cool question to then ask you, like, so why do you do it?
So for me, I've grown businesses most of my life since I was 11 years old. I worked since I was 11 years old and I did need the money. I'm an immigrant. I grew up very poor. I did make my own money as a kid just to be able to take ballet. And so there is this thing in my wiring of work hard and do and create your reality. And I made a lot of mistakes on that journey. I've been homeless before. I've lost money. I've had bad partnerships. I've like made bad deals. I've gotten the short end of the stick. I've done it all. I've avoided the numbers. I've done all the things. All the things I teach, I did. There was also a time in my life where after getting an MBA, basically to make my mother happy, I then went to get a master's of divinity to make my soul and my spirit happy.
Mm.
Because I have always been into religions, spirituality, my entire life, like as early as I can remember. And there was a point in that journey where I had a very, very clear message. Actually, thanks to a sister of mine in seminary, she was like, "Oh, this is the cross that you could bear. You're such a good speaker and such a good motivational speaker. You should like take on the mission of having women heard in the church." And I
Mm.
got this like immediate download in that moment that was like, no, that's not yours.
Mm.
That's not just, it was very like clear because I can take on a mission. I can like take on a mission and like drive it forward.
Yeah.
And I just got this very clear mission. It was like, thank you for volunteering me for that. That's not my movement. Maybe that's yours. So in that moment, I got really curious of like, okay,
Mm.
well, what is that mission? And it just very, very, very quickly fell into place that my mission is to use the skills and lessons that I've developed in business over the past 25 years to help people in business.
Mm.
And today, what I've seen now after like maybe 10 years of growing businesses and coaching and consulting businesses, what I'm seeing today inspires me to work and build the new product that I've built and the new like company that I'm building. I feel like time is moving faster, things are moving faster, and today I'm like, oh, I really have to help people. There's
Mm,
more people choosing to live in this world from a gig economy perspective, not be
yeah.
an employee, have their own business, do their own thing, and they don't know how to do that. And they don't know the rules of that game. And it took me, I don't know how long it took you, but it took me really 15 years to actually start running my business like a business or even going, wait, how does this really work?
Yeah.
Right? How do you put this, how does this Lego actually work? Let me find the manual. Right. And so I don't know, for me, it feels more urgent today. I truly believe that if we have people in the world running healthy businesses at a healthy revenue or healthy profit margin, and they're living fulfilled lives, then that to me is that battle of light and darkness that you talk about. If
Hmm.
I can get people feeling regulated and confident about the business they're running and how they make money and how they live, then what actually starts to happen is we begin to look at who they are as a person and how they're living in the world and what choices they're making and how they're impacting their
Mm,
community, their neighborhood, their schools, the schools their children go to.
mm,
But when people are dysregulated because of their job or because of their business and their revenue and they're worried about paying the bills, it's really hard to ask somebody to be a better human
yeah.
or to regulate, right? Or to like look at themselves when they are so unregulated because of basically ultimately money.
Right.
So what I'm interested in is like, cool. Well, I can help you with the money part.
Hmm.
I can teach you the game of business, how to play that game, how to make money in a healthy way, not in a like quick fix all the ads that we're being sold to all the time of
Yeah.
like, just do this and be a millionaire, be an AI millionaire is the new thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will teach you how to build a healthy business so that we can regulate that part of yourself. And then you get to choose who you want to be in the world.
Mm,
And that's the mission that I'm on. And it just feels like it's getting sped up
yeah.
because of the speed in which technology is just changing the game.
Yeah. It's requiring a lot of upgrades to the humans
Yeah.
in order to discern.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And choose. Yeah. Um, I'm curious about your sort of like philosophy on business. We were talking about this before, how entrepreneurship in and of itself is like its own whole vortex, and choosing to like cross over that threshold into entrepreneurship and business itself. It's one of these things that I think we'll just speak to the coaching industry. There's lots of coaches and service provider folks listening to this who I think there's a very like homogenous target that is sort of propagated through a lot of the things that we see. And of course, we all have different algorithms, but this idea of like your $1 million business and as many people as you can to follow you and reach and then churning that at this high, whatever conversion rate you can get at, and then you're monetizing and all this language, right, that we hear a lot. And I have a lot of people that come to me sort of very confused, A, and then B, like, this just isn't working. Like, 3 people like my Instagram post, and as if Instagram's like the channel that's going to make their business work.
Mhm.
And my thing that I've been talking about a lot is this concept of like what's right sized, like your right sized business for the life that you
Mm.
actually want to live, and like scaling what matters most to you, and just really like setting that equation with people to help them then architect the business that's going to actually do that thing. I'm so curious because I also hear you talking about helping people meet their edges and then like scaling beyond that, right? Like really expanding. So when you think about business and people that you meet, what are you like what is your process in helping them land on like what type of business is the right one for them?
Ooh, that's a really good question. And this is I love this question because this is how I think. And
Yeah.
I don't ascribe to any of those formulas of like you
Right.
need this audience to convert this. Like I'm like, I don't even know what those numbers are. They're
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
book, they're all made up anyway.
Yeah.
But what I do for people is I ask them what the vision of their business, what does their perfect day in their business look like 3 years from
Yeah.
now?
Hmm.
And it's like we all know this, right? And we've all
Yeah.
done this. But as a strategist and as like a business architect, um, what I want to know is if we can like remove all the to-dos and all the things you think you should be doing right now, and we
Yes.
remove all
Yes.
that noise. If you imagine yourself 3 years from now running your business, what does that look like? Because then what I do is go, cool, thank you. Thank you for giving me the answer. I can
Right.
architect that.
Right. Yeah.
And so what happens is like if we don't start there, we start building what somebody else's idea of business looks like for you.
Yes.
We start following some formula that maybe worked for somebody and didn't work for somebody else. And like the truth is, of all those coaching programs and all those coaches that we know and we see, when they have the highlights reels of their clients, for example, right? They will show you the people who were successful in their program. But every formula is successful for someone,
Right.
right? And so there's nothing wrong with the formula. It's just not necessarily the formula that's right for you. So we're going to see all these testimonials on some page or somebody who has a bigger, like my competitors who've spent a lot of time and money and years building a bigger brand than I have. They have more testimonials, but maybe, but that's speaking to a percentage of the
The whole.
audience that they actually taught the formula to, and that
Right.
formula is always going to work for maybe 20% of the people in the audience.
Yeah.
So what I'm more interested in is like, what's the right formula for you? And the
Right.
only way for me to figure that out is, well, what's your ideal business?
Yeah. So this is this interesting intersection of like the big one to many model, which
Mhm.
there's obviously a place for that. And then there's the more bespoke, intimate, and you and I both spend more time there,
Yeah.
in the intimacy model and the like actual hands-on coaching with people model than a lot of what I think our industry sort of like touts and then invites those people to speak on stages. So you get like this homogenous representation of
Yeah.
one style of business that, I mean, of course, there's like iteration inside of that, but I think that that's been really like sensationalized in so many ways. And yeah, I've never chosen that. I've always been the more I just really enjoy knowing people. I'm like, I was thinking
Yeah.
about it today. I was like, is this just like a result of like the version of me that didn't feel like she belonged to the cool girls and just like really loved like the witness work with like individuals and just like, I just love people so much. So I want to be like
Ooh,
close to people. And I love like knowing weird, quirky things about people and seeing them and seeing their soul. And I was like, oh, is that why my business model is like this? I don't.
that's a good, maybe I have a bit of this.
I
I'm like, maybe that's
know.
me.
I'm like,
Well,
oh, okay. Yeah.
so here's how how I've played.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
you. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And so how I decided to play in it was, could I, super nerdy, Celi, could I devise a one to many framework
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't output the same answer to everyone?
Correct. That's great.
And
And
so
what was,
that's what my framework is.
yeah.
And that's what I'm turning, which you and I have talked about this offline. I've turned it into software. And it's
Yeah.
now in the beta. My
Mhm.
past clients are using the beta version for the next like 2 to 3 months before it goes like fully public. But the whole point is like, can I teach you the rules of how to play soccer?
Mhm.
But you're not going to play like the person standing next to you.
Yeah.
That's that's what my challenge to myself was. Can I create a board game where I show you the rules of the game, and then we figure out, okay, now that you know how the game works, what is your unique strategy and what's your unique style? And what's your angle and how are you going to like swivel and how are you going to get
Hmm.
in front of people or like, oh yeah, you suck at getting in front of people? Cool. How do we create lead generation for you? And so
Hmm.
that's what my methodology has been all about is like is a direct response to that thing we see happen in our industry so much,
Yeah, yeah,
which I
yeah.
call it, for me, it's like do you remember when we were kids? Because we're about the same age. So remember like those infomercials on TV that it was like, call now and
Hmm.
you'll become a millionaire too if you just
Yeah,
put
yeah,
10
yeah.
cents
And then you get
like
this, and then this, and
then you
then
get
this.
this, right? I call like we're
Yeah,
seeing that on the online business coaching space, which is
totally.
like, call now and you'll be a
This
millionaire
bonus and this
too.
bonus before you, yeah, before
Right.
the clock goes, right. On the like fake link that is just gonna, it's set to expire, but it's actually
It's
about,
actually never going to expire because I'm making
just sign up with
evergreen
another
money from
email
this.
and you can get it again. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So my
Mm-hmm.
thing is like, what's my response to that? Oh, what if I could create a framework that helps people learn business? That's interesting to me
Mm-hmm. And
because
your
once
main
they,
premise, so this is like how my brain works. Your main premise is that there's like a certain framework of how to do business that is like set. And then the person is the unique individual that comes in and like iterates off those rules, much like the soccer analogy that you used, which is
yeah,
like the game is the game is the game. And then this is how you play on the field
yeah,
with the context of the game of business.
yes,
Got it. Okay,
yeah. That's
cool.
how I think about it. Because the game of business isn't going to change.
Hmm.
What is business? You have something cool that I want. I have to figure out how to buy
Get
it
it.
or pay for
Yep.
it.
Yeah. Whatever exchange. We could be like exchanging radishes or something or sheep, but
Yes,
hey,
we've
right
been
now
doing
it's
this
money.
for I
Yeah.
don't know how many thousands of years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So even AI doesn't change that game.
No, it does not. And that's so important. And I'm so glad that you said that because that's the thing I want to shout from the rooftops to people. It's like the advent of AI and PS, you're just talking about humans are talking about chat GPT version of AI, but AI has been here in other iterations for a long time. Like there's been different iterations and adaptations of this type of technology that's just continued to improve, and we're just now like seeing this version of it that is like the most sophisticated version of it in 2026.
Yeah, right.
But like
We're beginning to see it.
now we're like, oh, what did you do to my face? You know, like that's weird. I mean, it's like I put up a reel and then you can hit a button and then I'm speaking Spanish on the reel. I'm speaking Portuguese. Instagram has done this where it says see translations. You can choose four different languages of
That's
my
so funny.
reel that you can turn it on. And my mouth is
Is it,
speaking Spanish from the thing I just recorded in English.
see, I'm so old school. I'd rather just do the real in Spanish.
Woo! I mean,
But I mean, it's
wow.
cool, but it hasn't changed. Yeah, it just the rules of the game don't change.
Correct. Yes.
So that's what I teach is like,
Yes.
and so what do I mean by that? Well, okay, there are players on the field and they all have roles to play. Do you know what, if you had the money to hire a CMO, do you know what they would actually do
Hmm.
and be responsible for? I promise you, a good CMO is not just going to start whipping out content. That's not what a good CMO does. If you have a CFO on your team, do you know what they do? Do you know what they are looking at?
Hmm.
If you had a CRO or a head of sales, do you know what they're really looking at and what they're doing? And so that's what I teach people. If I get you to think about business like business, and we also
Hmm.
begin to detach a little bit, if we actually understand the rules of the game, then we can stop beating ourselves up.
Right. That part's really important. Can you say a little more about that?
It's super important. I was just talking to a client about this, where she was like, "Yeah, I feel like we were talking about the a certain skill set, right?" And she was like, I guess I just feel like I should know how to do that because I've been a coach for this many years and I'm a really damn good coach. And I've not, she's like, and you've helped me really up my prices and like she's like, this is a person who avoided her numbers like the plague. She's like, I look at my dashboard every month. I understand my numbers now. I've upped my prices. I know how to sell one-on-one and now I feel like I should be good at this new thing I'm trying. And I'm like, this
Mm.
is so fascinating. This is what we do to ourselves,
Right.
right? And so this is what happens is we beat ourselves up for either not knowing how to do a particular thing in business or not being absolutely 1000% perfect at it the first time we try.
Right.
And here's this person who's been with me now for a year and a half, almost 2 years, and she's at the next iteration of it, right? She's like, she hit six figures, which was a really big deal. She's upped her prices. She's like, looks at her dad. She's doing all these amazing things. And in the same breath, she's like, yeah, I don't ask you about this because I feel like I should know how to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
build a workshop. I'm like, why would you? Why? Why do you feel like
Yeah.
you should know how to build and sell a workshop?
Do you feel like that in the beginning phases of working with a client, that that's actually part of it, that they have to go through the process of being able to actually receive help on certain things? That like my first 6 months with clients, it's what I've come down to realize in my with my Elevate mentorship and mastermind clients. Those first 6 months, no matter how much the door is open and how much we talk and all this, it's like they have to go through this process of like stepping into the identity of someone who allows themselves to be supported and to like think of themselves at the level at which they want to in their business. And it's so interesting how like the first 6 months, oftentimes we things happen and there's movement, but it's like the real where like the real rocket ship happens is always in that next 6 months where it's like they go, oh, and then they really let themselves. So it's like that part of like letting yourself be supported, I think, is this thing I see a lot with my people.
Yeah, totally. I think that I said this earlier today, so it's just fresh in my mind. I'm like, the amount of time and energy that you spend in self-judgment about not
Yes.
knowing how to do the thing, that time and energy just, I don't know what black hole it goes into, but it's lost.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you have direct access to me. Why didn't you just vox
Right.
me?
Like hit the button. I mean, my coach has said it to me.
Like, why
She's
didn't you
like,
just ask me?
why didn't you just come talk to me about it? I was like, I'm so used to figuring everything out on my own. It's
Yeah.
like such a lifelong thing that I didn't even it didn't even occur to me that I could like lean in on that particular thing. And I like sort of laughed at myself after. I was like, of course I could just. So actually today I sent her a voice memo and I was like, this is one of those things that I would have put in the black hole in the past. And so I'm actually sending it to you right now. This is growth because I'm like, why am I trying to carry this whole thing by myself? The point of having support is so that you can share it and allow yourself to be supported. Hello. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. So, I don't know, when I was earlier on in my coaching career, I wanted everybody to like get it on day one and
Mm,
make the moves and make the changes. And
yeah.
now I kind of understand like what you're
Yep.
describing. I'm there with you where it's like I'm going to teach you all the things. I'm going to teach you the game. I'm going to teach you how to like play the moves so they work for you. And then I'm going to sit here and wait for you.
Yeah. It's like the curve. You got to wait for the curve to
Yeah,
hit.
and then I'm like, call me when you need me, baby girl.
It's the truth. It is. I'm like, are you guys listening to this right now? Exactly. I'm sitting here. I'm waiting. I'm on my walks. I'm in the portal. I'm available. But
Yeah.
it just has to hit at that certain inflection point of like all these things inside connect. And it
Yeah.
takes time. It is not,
It
and
takes
I think
time.
this is the thing, like the Jiffy Pop model of business that has been, just put in our faces for just so consistently and so
1
predominantly.
800, call now.
Exactly. And then it's like, that's not real, babe.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not real. And there's a very small percentage of people that it's real for and that works for. And those are the highlight reels that you're seeing.
Mhm.
And then
And
there's
and you're
then there's
making, I
business for the
think
rest of us.
you're making it bigger in your head because it pushes on a part of you that feels insecure. I would say, right? Like that's the human
Absolutely.
psyche is just like, oh, but it's so easy for her. People have said this to me. I'm sure people have said this to you. Clients would be like, it just seems so easy for you. And I'm like, how long you got? Pull up a chair.
Let me tell you some stories.
Let's go into the depths together. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I get that a lot too, and I'm like, it's easy for me. Like literally, that's why I teach this stuff. My mentor, when I was younger, I had a fashion line in Argentina and in my 20s. And my parents are not entrepreneurs. So when I moved back to Argentina and decided I'm going to start this business, and it kind of did, oh, it did well. It got a little traction. So I was like, I'm going to do this. My parents were just like, oh my Lord, what have we done? What is wrong with our child? Right. And so my mother introduced me to a good friend of hers who was an accountant turned pharmacist, pharmaceutical sales genius. And he was my mentor for many years. For 10 years of my life, I had dinner with this man or coffee with this man once a week, which we always had to clarify to people that I was basically, he became a father figure to me and he always called me his daughter just to like clarify,
Yeah.
because Latin culture.
Yeah.
Um, but I would call him up. He died just a few weeks ago, and
Oh,
but
I'm
I
so sorry.
always, and I'm like writing a book, and obviously it's like dedicated to him,
Mm.
but like the whole intro is like the joke's on me because I literally teach the stuff I would fight him on. Like
Yeah.
he would try to teach me
Mm.
the basics of numbers and do these things. And I was basically what I was saying was like, no, I'm a special sparkly star snowflake and I'm different. So now whenever I get clients who are like, yeah, but my business is different, I'm like, I know. Trust
Yeah.
me, I know. But numbers aren't different.
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah.
the numbers will always be true. So there is something about the journey of entrepreneurship that I think feels so personal and
Mm.
intimate to who you are in the beginning. It's
Yeah.
so entangled with your identity of who you are that it is hard to go, no, I
Mm.
have to learn this sport
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
everybody else had to learn this sport. No, I have to learn this instrument. Just like everybody else had to learn scales on this instrument, I have to learn the scales on the instrument. I don't know about you. Have you ever tried to pick up a guitar?
It's impossible. Yeah.
It looks so cool
It
when
looks
people
so
who
cool. And then you watch these people and you're like, wow. And then you're like, "Ah, this hurts my hand.
it hurts your thumb, it hurts your fingers.
Doesn't
Like
feel
that's when
good.
I tried to learn the guitar, I was like, are you serious? Are
I was
you
like, this
kidding?
isn't fun. Actually,
This
just
isn't
kidding.
fun. This is hard. I don't have that much strength in my fingers.
Yes.
Like
It's so hard.
just remember what that's like.
Yeah.
Anything you pick up, anything you try to learn that you're like
Anything.
blown away by an expert who does it on stage, like remember what
Oh
that's like when you tried to pick up a guitar or learn to dance
my
or play
gosh. It just
soccer,
like that hit so hard. Yeah.
right? And you're
Anything,
like, this is uncomfortable. People do this? Like oh, I have to wait, I have to spend hours practicing before my next lesson just to learn the next note. I'm out. Like I remember when I
yeah.
tried to play guitar, I was like, I'm so outy. Peace.
I
I
remember
already
that when
do.
I was like, am I going to become a singer? Because I am a singer. But then when I understood what it would take to like train my voice to be a singer and train my body and dedicate my whole, I was like, I think I'm just going to be a speaker and like go sing the national anthem at things and like
I think I'll just speak because I've been doing that since I was
I'm
about
better at
3 years old.
that.
Yeah.
That's easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna just like, write books and stuff and then go talk about them. And then I'll listen to music and I'll sing the national anthem at sporting events and that's enough. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
just remember when you tried to learn something that looked really sexy, and then when you
Yes.
tried to learn it, it was hard. That's entrepreneurship.
That's it. And
That's
then
business.
you're like paying a coach to work with them in the first month or 6 months or like a 12-week program. And then you're like so pissed that you didn't make $1 million yet. And it's just sort of like, babe,
I know.
hello?
Yeah. I just want to be like, have you picked up a guitar lately? Please go
Yeah,
do that
that's
and get
so
back to
good.
me. Get
That's
back
so
to me.
good.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what I do is I teach the rules of the game. And I built a software tool that also like makes it easy to see it all in one place, see all the players, see all the metrics you need to see, like see all the things. And
That's cool.
here's my own hubris because we all have it, right? We all are arrogant little shits. And I am the worst. I am the worst of the worst, by the way. I'm self-admittedly like my mentor would all the time be like, "Oh my God, you can't be so arrogant." And I would be like, "I'm a smart-ass Taurus. What do you want from me?"
Yeah, I was gonna ask you when your birthday was. You're a
Yeah.
Taurus.
I'm like
Yes.
such a like nerdy, brainy, weird, smart-ass Taurus. Of course I'm arrogant. Like we would literally fight about these things. But when I built the software, I thought, oh, I'll just build the software. I'll never coach again.
Nice try.
That's just not how that works, right? Because I built the software and my past clients, or there's a certain group who are beta testing it and they're like, cool, when's the community opening up? When's your
Yeah.
weekly call starting?
Yeah.
We need you. And I'm like, you don't need me. And they're like, no,
We do.
we need your coaching. We need your kick in the pants. We need your reflection. We need and the truth is it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you do. And
And
that's
and I think
cool.
about like they don't have your mentor to go have coffee with every week. Like you're
Right.
their mentor that they bring their coffee cup to the virtual session and they get that gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I think and I enjoy the method that I built because since it's not a one size fits all, we're all going to just copy paste all these moves.
Mm.
It challenges me
Yeah.
to get to know each person.
It's so fun.
And it's more fun. It's
It's
much
way
more
more fun.
challenging. I mean,
It's
look,
like get on the field and like give me the ball and I'm gonna 1v1 with you. Like I don't know what you're gonna defend like, but it's like fun to try to. It's the
right.
spice. I mean, I agree with you. You said this thing before we hit record of like your friend asking you if you won the lottery, would you still do this? And you were like, well, technically, I kind of already in that situation. And I'm over here like, if I won the lottery, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I really would because I was literally born to to do this. Like I was literally born to witness people and to help them. And I would be, it's almost like it doesn't matter. I feel like I have won the lottery in so many ways because I'm actually doing work I
Totally.
literally love every single day. It doesn't matter how much money is in the bank or isn't in the bank. It's like there's nothing I would rather be doing besides in my off time being with my family and going to places that are not New England in January,
In
you know?
winter.
Yeah. I'm a
Yeah.
simple creature, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So it's true. I didn't realize at the time that I had a mentor until many years later that I was like, oh, I think Gotcha was onto something. I think I have to start looking at these things. And then I was like,
Mm,
oh, that was actually like really good schooling. And
yeah.
that's what I do for people. And I used to tell him, we used to joke because I'm like, can you believe that like people pay me to teach them conversion rates and profitability and like how to think through this stuff? And he's like, your karma, dude. He would just be like, that's your karma. That's from like all the years of giving me crap and being difficult. That's your karma. And I'm like, I guess, yeah, I guess so. But it is fun. But I think I want to say this because I'm guessing you probably agree, but I think it's important for people to understand this. There's two things. Number one, those formula frameworks that supposedly work for everyone, they were built because they're easier on that coach.
Thank you for saying that out loud.
It's really important for us to like acknowledge. It would be much easier for you and I to just teach a step by step, do this copy paste framework, and you will get results. And if you don't get results, we have an ironclad NDA and agreement that you signed that you wouldn't complain scenario. That would be easier for you and I to do.
Except not really.
Well, it depends on your personality,
Yeah,
but
like
like yeah,
because I fundamentally disagree with that model in its ability and its efficacy to work for
right.
people. And
But it's
so,
an easier, but let's just acknowledge like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
Like,
an easier thing to deliver, right?
correct.
It's an easier
Correct.
product to deliver, number one. And number two, please keep in mind, I probably need to say this more and make more content about this because, I don't care if I offend people. But please keep in mind, you're constantly being sold to and marketed by excellent marketers.
Masterful, performative, talented, genius marketers who are on like have personality brands as
Yeah.
well. So they're extremely, extremely, charismatic and intoxicating. Imagine like Taylor Swift was a like business coach.
I'd be like, sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm
Can
in.
you teach a master class, please, Taylor? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll
I'd
just
be
put
right
down her
there.
guitar and start teaching, and everybody would be like,
Right.
we're all
Okay. Whatever
entrepreneurs
you
now.
say.
Right. So, and I tell my clients all like everything that you look at that you get an ad for or a reel pop up or whatever, wherever it is you like to play in your free time, anything that you look at and you go, ooh, just
Hmm.
that moment. where you go, ooh, that sounds, stop, stop right there. Because that ad and that person who's selling you the promise and the quick fix, they are a brilliant marketer. And very rarely do they produce other brilliant marketers just like them.
Barely, rarely ever does it translate into what's actually being taught. That was the thing that just like
Yeah.
blew my brain open. I actually saw this thing today. Hold on. I'm going to say that one thing in a second. But it cracked my brain open when I learned that because I fell for it. You know, how many times did I do it? I
Mm.
bought into these things and I'm like, maybe my hair will be that shiny. No, just kidding. But I'm gonna go join this thing. And then I get inside and I'd be like, this is horse shit. Like this is not a reflection of what that actually is. And then I saw this thing on Threads today that made me like cackle. And it was this woman saying something. And I have no idea if this is even true, but it lends itself to this kind of the theme what we're talking about. Did you know that there are these these online marketing people that just like keep passing around the same $100,000 that they can just take screenshots of, and then they just keep paying for things with this, and they pass it off to each other's programs, and then people are like laughing about like that Stripe 3% like chipping away at that 100K. But I was like, what? I never thought that in my like I've never thought of that as a thing in my life. And someone's like,
I see. I
Photoshop
would
would
never
just
even think of that either. Like I
no,
would,
never. Never. Like Photoshop would just be a lot easier. Um, but just the concept of that even being like the potentiality of a thing speaks to all of what we're talking about here.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah,
yeah, the game of business is really fun.
it
And
is.
my urgency is that I desire for more people just to know how to play it
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the most basic way. Like, how do I get you to actually understand the rules of the game and how do we play? And then we can play together and then we can play the game.
Yeah.
And it also is not fun when you're trying to put on these formulas that weren't really made for you, weren't made for your vision, weren't
Right.
made for who you want to be in the world. And that's why a lot of these people there's a lot of stories of people who like built businesses they didn't like and they end up closing, right? And it's like, well, yeah,
Right.
because you're one of those
Right.
weird ones that you tried the formula, it actually worked for you, and then you built this business that you absolutely hate.
Yes.
And every once in a while that's a very small percentage of people that it happens to, but every once in a while it happens. So I don't know. I just want to change. I want to change the game, really.
Yeah, I love it. And I think what I'm hearing is, we have the same value system on this. It's like helping people live a good life, like really enjoy being alive and really enjoy what they're doing. And because the reality is I'm going to say 100% of the people that are listening to this that have their own businesses chose to create that business as an answer to some sort of thing that they've lived through that was painful, that was not awesome, that they struggle with, or somebody they love struggle with. Like that's the reason we create these businesses, is like to better our situation and to help other people.
Yeah.
That's why I love working with entrepreneurs, because you're literally such a mission driven person just for the sheer willingness to create something to solve for something. And
Yeah.
so if that's the case, then gosh, do we want to see you succeed? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
I'm on for that ride. I will
Yeah.
hop on.
Yeah.
I will go on the ride with you. That's
Yeah.
fun to me.
Totally.
Yeah.
What's your message to the person that's listening to this right now who has been in that swirl of um, just like really beating themselves up, like really has been in that spin cycle of like, I just like can't make this work. And it is just so much harder than I feel like it should be. But then it's like, that spin cycle. The person is just
Mhm.
like in it right now.
I want to have a brilliant answer to this, but I don't. And so what comes to me, the game is a kind of rigged against you,
Mm.
and you need to know that. And I want you to like take a second and not beat yourself up, because your entire life, since you got into daycare or pre-K or kindergarten, you were taught to behave and think and act a certain way. You have been programmed from an early age to fall in line and to fall into a system and do what you're told and get a job and do everything the right way. And everything gets if you and if you manage to do everything the right way, you'll be safe and you'll fall
Mm.
right into the system, and that's what you're supposed to do. And it's not your fault because the whole system is rigged for you to fall in line and do what you're supposed to do. The thing is, when you decide to like hop off that train because you saw a problem that you wanted to solve or you saw somebody that you wanted to help and you're like, wait, there's something broken here. There's something wrong with that. And I know a different way. When you jump off that train of life that you were put on as a baby and expected to stay on forever, I always describe it as like you're jump off a moving train and you
Yeah.
roll out into the wilderness and you're in the jungle suddenly with maybe a machete, maybe. Most likely a small pocket knife, not even a machete, right?
Yeah.
And no one taught you how to like peel the branches away and deal with the mosquitoes and not step into the quicksand and avoid that swamp. And no one taught you how to fend for yourself or cook for yourself out there in the wilderness. You were programmed for a life on a fast moving train of just
Mm.
like kind of not thinking, but going through the motions. And when you jump off that train, it's a wilderness that you weren't programmed for.
Yeah. Right.
And so I give this visual, I gave this visual like recently. I've told this many times, but I guess for one of my clients, it was the first time she ever heard it. And she was like, is that the first? Did you just come up with that? And I'm like, no, no, no. This is actually what entrepreneurship feels like to
It
me.
really is. It really
This
is.
is like what it actually feels like to me. So I tell this all the time. So if you're suddenly in front of an anaconda, most likely, yeah, you don't know. You're not going to know what to do. And
No.
it's okay.
Yeah.
And stop beating yourself up. And there's two ways to approach that scenario. You can either find yourself a Jedi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Find the Jedi in the wilderness who's going to go, oh, no, 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 just avoid that branch and go over here, right? Or you can muscle through and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a,
You'll probably survive in both circumstances, but one might
yeah,
be a little easier.
one might be a little easier.
Yeah.
And it's also like, and by the way, if you find yourself in, and also what I mean by find a Jedi is don't go for the like, you know, quick fix gurus, but like find somebody who's like, I've been there, done it, totally going to teach you the ways through
Yeah.
this Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this coming from somebody who's like tried to build a tool to like remove coaching and then realized, oh God, no, we all need a coach. So
Tool
that's
doesn't work without
again
the
my
coach.
own arrogance.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
and also just know that your options are muscle through or get some guidance to maybe shorten the time, but you're in the wilderness
And it's still gonna
and,
hurt.
and it's still going to hurt and you're still going to make mistakes and there's nothing wrong with you. And
Yeah.
you've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I could give you some tactical things to do right now, but I think that the truth is like
No, I think it's it. It's
that's where you are. And there's swamps and there's quicksands and there's bugs and there's like wild animals and death traps. And that's really where you are. So don't beat yourself up. I know that if I was dropped in the Amazon, I would not know what to do. Would you know what to do?
no. I mean, no.
I wouldn't. I'm pretty badass and I would not know
Yeah, I
what to
mean,
do.
I'd figure it out for sure, but it would be challenging. And I'd be like, oh, I need Ben. My husband is like MacGyver. So I'd be like, man, it
Yeah.
would have been so much easier if he was here with me.
Yeah. No, I am the MacGyver in our family. So, and I know that I'm like, ooh, that would be tricky.
Yeah.
So I think that first is like just understand that you've chosen to go against the programmed path.
Yes, correct.
And there's something really beautiful and courageous about that. And I think that's why you like working with entrepreneurs and I like working with entrepreneurs because I'm like, I see you, even if you don't.
Totally.
You've chosen to do something
Yeah.
wildly courageous and a
Yeah.
little bit cray-cray.
You've
And
like
I'm here
you
for
have
it.
consciously stepped out of the line. You consciously jumped off the train and I'm like I jumped off the train a long time ago. And
Yeah.
so I'm over here, with dirt on my face and I'm like, come on, like, let's go. It's better
Let's
with all of us
go.
together,
Put
Yeah.
that purse down. You're not going to need
You
that
don't
here,
need that
girl.
Louis Vuitton. Leave it there. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's like, and in case you didn't know, that's where you are. That's where you are. And it can
Yeah.
be really fun here.
Yeah.
But I think that's like number one is understanding that's where you are.
Well, and I think the piece I really gleaned from that, in addition to all the beautiful visuals, is like, you didn't do anything wrong. And I think
Yeah.
what I see so often for all of my clients, and the part that causes so much friction and hesitating and stalling, is this like shame about doing something wrong or not doing it right. And it's like, that's not even a thing. Like that's
It's
actually
not
like
a
not
thing.
a thing. And every time you do something and you have a quote unquote mistake or whatever, you fall down, you just get up, you learn from that fall, and you do it differently the next time. That's it.
Yeah.
Onward. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So good. So good. So what is like, I love just ask like this super granular question just to because it's fun to get into people's worlds. But like in this moment that we're having this conversation in January 2026, what what are you looking forward to in your world? What is making you feel like daily joy? And what is something that you are that is challenging you?
Um, Looking forward to in 2026 is having like actually this software is launching and it's been in the making and in my brain for 3 years. So it's
Yeah.
very scary when something you've been talking about and tinkering with is coming to life.
Mm,
But it's also really exciting
yeah.
because I get to feel that feeling that a lot of my clients feel of like, oh God, oh God, I'm birthing a new thing. But it's exciting. What gives me daily joy is my son, hands
Yeah.
down. I am 44 and my assistant who has come over to our house a lot, she's like, "Oh, it's so cool. You're an older mom, and so it's so cool to see how present you are with your son." And I'm like, I don't know if that's because I'm an older mom or just because I want to be present with my son.
Yeah.
Um, but they're just so damn funny. Like it is,
So
I want to be
cute.
present because it's so fleeting and he just changes so fast. And
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
thing he did last week, he doesn't do anymore. You try to get him to make that funny face again, and he's
Just
like moved
doesn't.
on and it's
Yeah.
done. And
Yeah.
so that is my joy. And what is my challenge? Was that the question?
Yeah. What are you being challenged by?
I think facing I think I need to say this out loud because I think people need to hear it. It doesn't matter how many millions you've made, doesn't matter how many times you've done it. I think when you're facing a new thing or launching a new thing or about to like share your art, like I have your book, right?
Mm,
You probably felt this when you like launched your
mm.
book and your
Oh,
creation
yeah.
and your
Yeah.
poetry.
It's a little raw.
Literally every day
Yeah.
the thought passes through my mind of like, will anybody
Yeah.
like it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's just part of the dance too, right? And so I think it's really important to, doesn't matter how many times I've created a thing and put it onto the world. Like literally every day I have that moment of like, you can still turn back. You don't have to do it. You don't have to put it
Mm,
out there. Like, what if nobody buys it? What if nobody, buys the beta? What if nobody buys what if you don't hit those numbers? What if every day,
yeah.
every day that voice is probably one of the first voices I hear in the morning.
Mm, hmm.
And so I think it's important for other people to hear that from
Totally.
people who've
Yeah.
done it because it's also like I too dance with that voice every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every
Same.
day I'm like, okay, I heard you. And what if it changes the game? And what if it helps somebody? And what if it transforms someone's business? And what if,
Mm,
and like every day I have to do that dance with myself.
mm, mm. I love how much creative agency we have as entrepreneurs, and how truly free we are to build whatever we want to build
Yeah.
from the spirit of what's going to change the game, what is going to help somebody in a new way. And I'm obsessed with getting to think in new, expanded ways. It's like my brain is just really can't shut off in that realm of things. Like I'm always like meeting my next edge of consciousness. And it's like, how can we continue to iterate that beyond? And so, yeah, that's really fun to think about. You putting a tool into the space from that 3 year ago version of you, that's been iterating it up to this point, and it's
Yeah.
meeting this moment, which I'm sure you've had to make a lot of adjustments in these last 3 years to
Yeah.
get to here too, which is, yeah, that's exciting. Way to go. I'm excited to see it.
Well, my intention in building it was okay, if we're seeing all the like highlight reels results of all these programs, but we're really seeing 10%
Hmm. Of the population.
of
Yeah.
the population that's successful in that program, what would it look like to build something that could have a 100% success rate?
Yeah.
That's insane. I
That's a
know.
cool, but like
But that
these
was
are the
the
questions.
challenge I set out to solve was like,
Yeah.
what could I build that if you do it and if you use it,
Mm,
there you will have a 100% chance of building a healthy business if you do the things in it. So that was the challenge I set out. And so of course, yes, it's as I've worked with clients, as I've run group programs, I iterate every single time because I'm just learning from
right.
what
Right.
works for people.
Yeah.
But
I love that question.
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot for one more thing.
Okay.
If you could leave the group that's listening to this with a question that is edgy like that is like an expander question that helps them think differently in their business right now, what would that be?
Oh, I want you to close your eyes and think about all like visually, like let all the things that you're doing and managing and popping up, like let all those things pop up, all the things that you're doing in your business. What are all those tasks? What are the projects? What are the offers? What are the products? What's the one thing that you go, I could never let go of that?
Mm,
What's the one that you're like, oh no, there's no way I could change that. There's no way I could let go of that, remove it. There's no way I could change the price on that. There's no way I could change the structure on that. Whatever is that one thing that feels really set in stone, that's the one thing I want you to really question.
mm,
Because usually it's the thing we don't question and we don't look at and we don't question the way we offer that structure, that the way we've structured that offer or the way we've priced it or the way we deliver it. The one thing we don't question is usually this weird anchor that we don't even know is an anchor anymore.
mm,
It could be a team member. It could be a task that you think that you're the only one that you can do. People are shocked when I tell them I don't read my emails. I don't read my emails. My assistant does. I'm really comfortable with her knowing my life forwards and backwards. And I always tell my husband and friends, like, if you write me a personal email, just know you're not the only one reading it, as long as you're okay with that. Right. But like that
yeah.
thing, like some
Yeah.
people like hold on to their calendar. Some
Yeah.
people hold
Oh,
on to
I
their
do.
emails.
I
Right. But
do.
I have people who
Yeah.
are like, no, nobody else could schedule my schedule. Like
Hmm.
whatever is that thing you're holding on
Totally.
to, or this program I've been running forever and I run it like this, or it's priced at this because it's
Mm,
priced. Whatever
hmm.
that thing is, look again because
Mm,
that thing that you think is has to be that way is in some way there's
mm.
a lead weight there.
Yeah, that's good. That's fun. Ooh, I'm like, what is it? I got a couple, so we can talk about it. Oh, so good. So good. All right, Celi. So, where do people connect with you? I know they already have found you on Instagram for sure, but tell us all of your favorite places to hang out. I know you have, I love your newsletter. I love when you write emails. Where do they connect?
Thanks. Yeah, I think the newsletter is a place where I'm having a really fun time actually telling real stories, and I
Yeah,
only
they're
write
great.
when I have a real story to tell. So I would say go to my website, grownassbusiness.com or getscalepilot.com and sign up for the newsletter. It's probably the easiest thing to do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Love it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Thank you for coming on the
I
show.
appreciate you. Thank you for having me and thank you for asking such thoughtful questions.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
how we roll, right?
Yeah.
All right,
See, I
friend.
was like, oh, this is going to be fun. And I was right. This is,
And you were right. You were right. All right, my love. Thank you so much. Happy New
thank
Year.
you.
Hmm.
Happy New Year.